To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
You have failed this city.
So I have this thing with rolls?
Just the end of the world.
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
You're the boy from the circus.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, February 1st, 2020. I'm Little Eddie O'Hare, aspiring professional fanboy.
And I stepped on your line, and I'm Sara Netzley, academic by day, writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we are up at full speed, friends. We had, 5 episodes, a series finale.
Yes, 4 episodes, actually.
It felt like 5.
It felt like 5, yeah, because we had that, did you watch the look back at Arrow before the finale?
I didn't. My DVR didn't record it. And, well, I'll talk about this in the episode, but it also cut off the last, 30 seconds of the episode. It was rough. I didn't. How was it? Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was not as sad, because usually a lot of those our crew's the best. Everyone's the best, and it's everyone crying, and Arrow seemed to actually save that for the actual episode. So it was really just more of a look back of Arrow as it evolved through the seasons. And it was really focused on how Oliver grew as a character, and how it changed the face of the CW and of superheroes on TV, which was cool.
Did it also showcase the evolution of Stephen Amell's acting abilities? Because I feel like those really... No, and I mean that genuinely. Good for you, Stephen Amell.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see Felicity again. I didn't realize how big a part of the show she had, and not having her around was weird. But yeah. So that's what happened. I on the like remembering Arrow special or whatever it was. I can't even remember. But
Well, my experience over the last couple of days, I finished the first half of the final season of BoJack, and then last night I watched the Arrow finale and the Good Place finale. So I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I just have been crying because it's all very...
well, I've been mourning Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, and spending the last couple of days getting my brother's bedroom ready to turn into a makeshift living room / TV studio for my YouTube channel, Geek Sports Haven. And I'm having Bill Sweeney over later today to record me cooking chili for my Super Bowl party tomorrow. So,
nice. Now, is your brother okay with this? Does he have no say?
Yes, he's fine with it. Evidently, my mother dragged her feet telling him that this was going to happen. I thought that he knew already, and we were like halfway through the process, and it was like, Mom was like, I guess I have to tell him now. I'm like, Mom. Granted, I could have told him, but I thought Mom was going to. So yeah, no, but he's fine with it.
It's payback for the dog.
Yes. Well, I love my brother. I wish he was home. But he's in Hawaii for at least another year. But anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and listening. And if you haven't yet, if you're listening to us, whatever podcast app you're listening to us on, please rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Also, if you want to help us out more, we are part of Wicked Theory Studios, and they have a Patreon, patreon.com/Wicked Theory. For as little as $1 a month, you can just, help us with our overhead. And there's a bonus podcast you can get there, which is Ed Bonds with Bill, where me and Bill Sweeney watch James Bond movies together. Last episode, the most recent episode, which should be going up soon, was For Your Eyes Only. Sarah, do you remember that? Do you remember that little ditty from Roger Moore?
I don't, and I don't think I could come up with what the premise of that movie is, to be honest.
Oh, well, the plot never matters in James Bond movies.
All right.
It's the one he goes to Cortina and fights it and gets into fights around a winter sports festival, and there's also a lot of deep sea diving.
Oh, sounds great.
And it ends in the mountains of Greece. So yeah, and Sheena Easton sings the theme song. What's not to like? So yeah, that's what we're up to. And Sarah, you ready to dive into these recaps?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. First up is Batwoman, Season 1, Episode 11, An Unbirthday Present. Years ago, Alice and Mouse tried to hide their Chessie kitty from the caterpillar. In the present, Mouse kidnapped the mayor and commissioner's sons to try and force Sophie to release Alice from custody. Kate met a version of Beth from another Earth who was rescued from the car crash and grew up with Kate. Last minute reveal, Beth and Alice both got really bad headaches at the same time.
All right, I just need to say at the outset, I have quit shows for less than what happened to that cat. Just need to put that out there. R.I.P.
Yeah. That was intense. Yeah, I do find it interesting how like that flashback world already all of the names, it's Alice and Mouse and Caterpillar, like just the way that language is forming is yeah. I mean, I thought those flashbacks were so good that I didn't mind that we're still doing flashbacks.
Oh yeah, those didn't bother me at all, other than what they did to the cat.
Yes.
But I am enjoying the Alice Beth dichotomy on this. I obviously they both can't stay, and I mean I felt that way before we got to the double headache at the end. You can't have. I just feel like you don't get Beth forever, right? This show does not have a forever Beth, and that makes me kind of sad because I like her. I love that they they get to rewrite history, and I'm happy for Kate, and sad because it's gonna end. I just know it.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Kate's gonna feel like extra guilty knowing that, like, if she'd gone back in for Beth, there was a good chance that she might have been able to save her?
I feel like all you have to say is, do you think Kate is going to feel extra guilty, and just end the sentence? Because yes. It doesn't matter, yes. But yes, especially with that yes.
Yeah. And Sophie facing off with Alice. Like, Alice really just like digging it in, like, hey, I know your secret. Really just trying to dig it into Sophie's personal life.
Is Sophie better than she was at the beginning of the season? Are they writing her better now?
Oh yes.
Okay. I'm glad it's not just me. She ditched the husband. He ditched her technically, but that helps. Yeah. I think she's just better in these last few episodes.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm interested to see what they do with her character. Is she gonna reach out and start a relationship again with Kate, or is Is she going to start a relationship with anyone? Like what's kind of going on here? Did she get a good divorce lawyer? Like what's the deal here? Yeah, and also to see her, I think, especially now that Jacob's in prison, and she's having to take charge. Um, yeah, I think that she's coming more to the forefront, and her character's getting more of a chance to shine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
I also am delighted that Mary figured out the multiverse while drunk. Mary is my favorite.
Yes, yeah. Also, yeah, the fact that Beth just happens to be a quantum physicist,
You know.
really helps. That's how we understood this. Now, I've seen a lot of speculation online. So like whatever's going on between Alice and Beth, it's kind of weird because like this hasn't happened with other doppelgangers before. Um, and like I'm wondering like. Is this just something they're coming up with conveniently because they want to show some dichotomy, or is this going to be like a new trend that we're going to establish?
When you say with the doubles, like not being able to exist
Yes.
together, I am curious about that because I mean, Supergirl had double brainies,
Yeah, we
and
have like
that,
5 brainies.
yeah, there are a lot of brainies, and that, but I mean, they got rid of him fast enough. I don't know if it takes being there for some time. Is it the only show with doubles? I'm trying to think if we have other.
I
Supergirl
mean,
took care of its doubles.
yeah, I mean, so far.
Yeah.
So far.
I hope not, because that is remarkably inconsistent. If they do that, my hope is that that will carry over to other shows. Arrow made a point of saying that with one person there from a certain Earth, they couldn't have another one. So I have no idea. I'm concerned though. This is going to be just a Batwoman thing, and it's not going to be consistent across all the worlds, which would or the Earth, which would be frustrating.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
like that. I like that storytelling. I mean, I like that conceit, and then it's going to set up that big Sophie's Choice. I can't use Sophie's Choice in a show with an actual Sophie. Kate's Choice. You knew what I meant.
Yes. 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 And the I thought the action scenes in this were particularly good. Um, I thought Mouse was very menacing, and that whole thing with the car and I thought they ramped up the tension, and I thought the fight scenes in this episode were very impressive.
Agreed. Agreed. I like what they're doing with all of that. I also am really surprised. Mouse has grown into quite a menacing figure. He wasn't so much, I feel like, when we started with him, but he's quite scary. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, and like we're in the middle, we're in the thick of it. And I think this show's kind of hit its stride, and it's heading at a good clip, and I'm excited to see where it goes next week.
yeah, me too. I'm glad we have this dour, guilty superhero to make up for the loss of the OG dour, guilty
Mm.
superhero this week. So,
All right. Any news for Batwoman?
just a little snippet. Hey guys, Paul Wesley is coming back to the CW. Stefan Salvatore coming back. Vampire Diaries to direct an episode. We don't get to see his pretty face, but he will be behind the camera. So, you go, Paul Wesley.
Okay. All
It's
right.
exciting for Vampire Diary fans. I know you're out there.
Yeah. You say so, Sarah.
Tanya is out there.
No, I'm sure I'm the odd man out on that. All right. So now we're moving on to Supergirl, season 5, episode 11, Back from the Future, part 1. Lex and Brainy let an evil Win from another Earth loose on National City, and the Earth Prime Win returned from the future to clear his name. Nia was having conflicting feelings after her breakup with Brainy. Lena reached out to Andrea to learn more about Leviathan. William became suspicious of Lex's business dealings and began investigating him. Last minute reveal: after the toy man's evidence was locked up, his laptop turned on.
I felt like this was a much better episode than the previous week.
I would agree with that.
Is it because of the heavy Legion stuff? Do you like the Legion stuff?
Yeah. I thought that was cool. I thought Nia learning about her descendants and getting all that cool stuff, and finding out, that she could do a lot more with her powers. And you know what? This is Win disappeared like a season or two ago, and like he was a great character, and I'm glad that we got him back, even if it was just for one show.
Yeah. I think we have him for another episode before he goes away again. But yeah, and I like the growth that happened with him off camera. I'm sorry we didn't get to follow it, but it's very cool to see how he grew and changed, and I guess is married to Lightning Lass now.
I guess. Yeah. I didn't see who he said his wife was.
He said that his wife is Ayla, which
Okay.
is I am given to believe is Lightning Lass. So
Okay. So the sister of Lightning Lad. Okay.
Sure. Keep it in the family name wise, of course. This was kind of a deep cut episode in that this referenced things that happened in like the first season 5th episode or something like that. So this goes back 10th episode, I'm sorry. So this goes back a ways to the original Toy-Con assassination attempt of the toy fella. Which I barely remember season 1, I gotta be honest. So it required some work. But good to have Win back. I feel like this was another episode where they made Supergirl's powers stupid. Like she couldn't stop that bullet. Really? I don't know. I wish they would. Whatever. I'm not gonna. It is what it is. I like Supergirl, so I will continue to make excuses for it. But do you wonder if we're leading up toward us actually meeting Neuronal? Do you feel like she's come up enough that we theoretically could meet her?
Oh yeah. I mean, like there's a whole run in the comics where well, I think there was actually a whole series called Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes, where Kara gets flung into the future and has a bunch of adventures with the Legion. Superboy did the same thing in the comics, so I wouldn't be, I mean, it would be a huge change, but theoretically, you could have a whole season where she's just hanging out in the 31st century with the Legion. I don't think that she'll do that, but it's exciting to think about. But yeah, sure. I don't see why Neuronal would why Dream Girl wouldn't show up.
I just feel like they've name checked her enough that I'm hoping we'll see that.
Yeah, and I think that would make things. I mean, as if things weren't awkward enough for Brainy, I think that would just bring the strange tension up to an incredibly weird level, where it's like, hey, this is my ex, she's your granddaughter,
and you're also my ex.
Yes.
Speaking of Brainy, get it together.
This was some of the best acting I've seen from that actor. I feel like he really poured his heart out, and when he confessed to Win, when he finally had someone who kind of had an inkling of what he was going through, and he got to come clean, I found that heartbreaking. I was really moved by his performance in this episode.
I always think he's a good actor. I always enjoy his performance, and I think he's had an exceptionally good run of episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this arc was great for him.
Love this journey for him. Yes.
Yeah.
New hangout, exciting.
Yes, yes, the tower. Yes, yeah. John Jones has free time and evidently some cash.
Yeah, he really that PI business must be going like gangbusters because
I just like, can we get an episode just hanging with him getting hired by a bunch of divorcees?
you
Because
know the divorcees love John Johns.
but like, isn't that all the PI business is? Is people hiring a guy to snoop on their wives or husbands to find out if they're cheating on them? Isn't that?
It's a lot of serving. It's a lot of process serving from what I've seen.
Oh, okay.
I know my husband's office uses a PI firm, a couple PI firms, and it's just a lot of finding people for service of divorce
Mhm.
papers. So yeah, divorce stuff.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a lot of very routine, like what is his work schedule? When might he be at home? What does he look like? What kind of car does he drive? So I know it is him when I approach him. So I had a lot of questions the first time I talked to an actual like PI to hire them. It was very exciting.
Uh, but yeah, I think the tower's great. I like how it has that built-in open window for just car to like fly in and out of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, I I think that's great. And yeah, and we have Lex to thank for that. For buying up the DEO. So yeah. Speaking of which, we didn't. I mean, Lena basically learned that Leviathan has cut out Andrea, and she doesn't really know anything about it. But Lex did see pictures of Ramakan and Gemma.
I'm going to be
Um,
didactic. Not so much
mhm.
pictures as like oil paintings from the Renaissance.
Oh yes, yes.
Thank you.
So yeah. So that's chugging along. I'm sure we'll see that come more to the forefront in the next few weeks. But as for this, uh, you know, we get to see Win come back. We get to see him fight an evil twin, or an evil version of himself. Um, and yeah, Toymaker's always a fun Superman villain. Um, and to see what he got up to in this episode. And it's not over yet.
Yeah, it's
No.
never over.
All right, all right.
Yeah, so I was pleased with this episode.
Good. And any news for Supergirl?
Nope, nothing that I saw.
All right, then we're moving on to Black Lightning, season 3, episode 11, The Book of Markovia, chapter 2, Lynn's Addiction. Jennifer told Jefferson about her work with Agent Odell, and Jefferson flipped his lid. Lala asked Devante to head over to the east side and spy on the competition. Lynn learned from Sergeant Grail that the ASA was trying to create more of the stabilization cure and decided to break out Tobias Whale. Last minute reveal, Lynn and Sergeant Grail freed Tobias, but ended up getting captured by a Markovian.
All those things happened. Okay, I have random thoughts. The first of which is Gamby really still sounds like he's grooming that kid. I'm sorry. It is so creepy to me. You remind me of someone. Stop it, Gamby. I'm sorry that Sarah Netzley, am like this. I'm sorry, but stop it, Gamby.
Yep.
I just feel like he's so disconnected from the Pierces, and he's just not serving. I don't know. I just don't like what they're. All right, we have Lady Eve though. Let's focus on the positive.
Yes, and I thought this is going to be like a product of Crisis, but like evidently no, she was resurrected the same way Lala was, which is kind of weird. But I don't care. I'm glad to have her back.
I was gonna say her
Uh,
style is back. That's all that matters.
yes, yeah. That she's got that nightclub, Ultimate O, which is like the most high end of high end brothels. Um,
Obviously.
mhm, still can't figure out what the O stands for, but
I don't know.
um,
It's weird. I know. Like, it's subtle.
um, but yeah. So and Lala, came face to face with her and said, "You got 48 hours." And I don't know who's the idiot there.
Always Lala. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also kind of weird that like Lady Eve didn't have him gunned down right there and then.
Yeah. She's probably going to not live to regret it.
Mhm. Well, we'll
We'll
see.
see.
Um, and yeah, it's funny. This episode is called Lynn's Addiction, but I feel like we didn't really see any of that in the episode because she got some green light and she wasn't going through the DTs anymore.
And they
Um,
stopped painting those dark circles under her eyes, so that's nice.
yeah,
She put on a jaunty tie. It was a good look. That was, yeah.
yeah, and she got some help from Sergeant Grail.
Yeah. I don't trust him.
Mhm. No. But like, we did get Tobias doing his mustache twirling.
Every
I
time
thought,
he doesn't look like death, I'm grateful. I'm just they gave us that really frightening image of Tobias, and every time now I'm just like, oh, thank God, it
yeah,
doesn't look that bad.
yeah. But they're kidnapped, Markovians. Like, what is like? We're actually gonna find out what these guys are about now. I feel like there's another shoe that's gonna drop where we find out their side of this. And yeah, one other thing I didn't mention in the recap is that Grace Choi came home, moved back in with Anissa, and she feels like she's got her powers under control right now. And
They
I
seem
thought,
happy.
yeah, they seem happy for now. So we'll see. I thought that was good. Um, Jefferson and first off, Anissa and Brandon. Um, every once in a while, it's funny where you realize, oh, there's a character who's been around so long, for a while, and like he doesn't know the
Uh-huh.
secrets yet.
Honestly, I was a little surprised when he was surprised. Oh,
Mhm.
oh, okay. I guess he doesn't. All right.
Yeah. Still, he never even knew Black Lightning. It was Black Lightning, and Gamby's workshop is really cool. So to see him walk around, but he dropped a name, that like I was kicking myself for not realizing this. But he said, I could come up with a code name, and he said Geoforce. Sarah, are you familiar with Geoforce?
No, but I saw the internet excited about that, so tell me more.
Yeah, so Geoforce is a member of the Outsiders, and he has like, geology based powers. He can cause earthquakes, seismic activity. The thing is, it's very different here because in the comics he's a Markovian prince.
What if he is a secret Markovian prince?
Ooh,
Does that fit
okay.
what we know about his backstory?
Maybe. He just showed up. I mean, the other obvious difference is, in the comics, he's a white guy with brown
Oh,
hair.
of course that.
But the Markovian who knocked out Lynn, was also black. So maybe they're going with that different angle. And that would be cool.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and um, I'm glad that Jennifer didn't get a chance to kill Agent Odell. And I guess it's kind of good that, like, Jefferson and Anissa, after they captured him, that was just a ruse to get his vocal patterns. Uh, However, it didn't work out because he was rescued by the ASA, and Khalil, Jennifer almost, well, she did screw everything up. But she almost got people killed, trying to save Khalil, because Khalil was because he's a murderous monster.
Okay, so here's my thing. Warn Jennifer. Warn her.
Yes.
Hey, so you're not taken by surprise in the field.
Mhm.
Here's something you need to know, right?
Yeah. You're right. You're definitely right. Yeah, that is definitely something she should have been made aware of. But everything happening, so much,
They've been busy.
worlds merging. Who has the time to give her that heads up?
This is true. This is true. I do feel like it's an important memo to give her, but I can't Monday morning quarterback. So, just I have to say regarding Jefferson Pierce, I hate dads who threaten their daughters' boyfriends. Hate is a strong word, but like she's not your property. She can make her own decisions. I thought that was gross. I always thought
Okay.
that's gross.
Okay.
So, the
Okay.
end. That's it.
Well, okay. Well, you want to hear something really gross?
Ugh.
Do you know
Do
what
I?
Mike? Do you know what Mike Tyson tells all of his daughter's boyfriends?
Oh, I don't want to know this, but go on.
Whatever you do to her, I'm gonna do to you.
Gross. Ugh. Okay, good impression, but they are their own people. You don't own your daughters, Mike Tyson. You, okay.
This little girl.
They cannot be that little. There's no way.
In his eyes, she'll always be the little girl. All right. Cool. Anything more to say about Black Lightning? Anything?
No. Nope. And no news there either.
All right. Big moment, Sarah.
All right, here we
It's
go.
the last time I'm gonna say this title. Arrow. Series finale. Fate. 8 years ago, Diggle worked to convince Oliver that he did not have to murder all of the criminals on his list. In the present, all of Oliver's family and friends, alive and resurrected, gathered together for his funeral. Mia visited from the future and helped to rescue a kidnapped young William. Last minute reveal, Felicity and Oliver were happy to spend eternity together, alone in an office building.
Oh God, that was weird. I'm so happy that they got to be together, but I don't. Why was Oliver just there alone for 20 years? Just knocking around that big empty office building. Is that heaven? I don't know.
You sound like the voice in Jim Gaffigan's head.
Maybe I am. So I thought this was a very fine finale. I thought this was a very fine capper to Arrow. I liked the flashbacks. I loved the guest stars. They did a nice job of I feel like giving us the flashbacks and some of the context, and there was a good fight scene. I am pleased. Arrow, I am pleased. Ed, how do you
Yeah.
feel?
Yeah. I thought it was a nice wrap up. I thought it was kind of weird, that your main character is not alive.
Yes.
Although we did get to see him in flashbacks, and I thought, the whole scene of him going up against John Byrne's goons. I thought that was an incredible action sequence.
Mhm.
By the way, John Byrne also happens to be the name of a legendary comic book artist,
Oh yeah.
writer and artist. Did a lot of work for Marvel, but did do some DC work. But also worked for DC. He drew um, Legends, which is my favorite company-wide crossover, which was the first crossover after Crisis. Um, and so that was an interesting nod. Um, and yeah. I thought the action here, they did make time for a little bit of a storyline, so it wasn't all just everyone crying around each other. Although that was a lot of it.
There was a lot of everybody crying around each other. Let's be honest.
Yes. Yes, yes, yeah, and we got to catch up with Rory Reagan, the Ragman.
He was the
Um,
best of the newbies.
yes, yes, and yeah, I mean, just that one little snippet, that conversation he has with Renee. Yeah, it's a shame that the show just really didn't understand that character and know what to work with, know what to do with him.
Or they didn't want to pay to animate him.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's if you want like a dark, creepy, um, horror based superhero, Ragman's a good place to start. So
We had
um,
one in Swamp Thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe DC Universe or HBO Max will pick up with that character, um, somewhere down the line. But the guest stars I was most excited to see here were um was Roy and Thea. Getting to see them come
Uh-huh.
back.
Well, and we got to see the end of their relationship. I mean the conclude the not end. We got to what Ed? What am I? Help me word here.
They're getting
They get
married.
engaged.
Yes.
They're getting married.
Yes.
We got to see how that is going to resolve for them, and that's awesome.
Yeah, 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 and it's just I think because the actors had different plans, we didn't see that through. They left the show probably like halfway through, and or were on and off. And I'm really glad that they're together. I always say that the spinoff I wanted to see was those two guys, was those two hunting down the Thanatos Guild, hopping around the world. But at least I know that I'm happy to know that they ended up together. Like I was actually more excited for that than I was for Felicity and Oliver. Um,
Well,
but
they have. I mean, I feel like there's a more dynamic
Mhm,
story there with them, where Felicity and Oliver are going to be. I just happy until they're bored in that office building.
yeah,
No, I have a lot of thoughts about that final scene that I liked it. I like what it meant, but let's talk about the rest of it before we get there.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I was so glad the other superheroes were at the funeral. That made me very happy.
yes, yes,
And the Al Ghul sisters and
yeah.
Tommy. It was all very nice.
So, yeah, another great conversation. Yeah, so you look just like my dead wife.
Okay, see ya. I liked that Laurel just like drinking all the way through that episode.
hmm hmm
Which was that supposed to be calling back to the unfortunate Laurel is an alcoholic storyline? Because it reminded me of that in a way that I didn't appreciate.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, but I'm glad she had that moment with Quentin where she kind of just poured her heart out.
Yeah.
And that he was like, no, 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 you know, don't feel that way. I thought that was a good moment. Okay, Sarah, I'm confused about what's up with Dinah. So she was offered chief of police. She decided, no, there's no crime here anymore. I got to go someplace where I'm not going to help. So does she end up in a piano bar?
In the future?
For the for so does she end up just like lounging around a piano bar for the next 20 years? Like is that
I
Dinah the same Dinah? Is it a different Dinah? Like what's the
assume it's the same Dinah, but I'm not quite sure how she got there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I remain, as always, so irritated that the people who were there to say goodbye to Oliver Queen were Dinah and Renee. Just they were the meanest to Oliver in that one season that we don't talk about. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And here's the better kicker, Sarah. I'm gonna get you upset.
oh God,
Sarah,
why?
I want you to explain to me Renee's qualifications to be mayor of Star City.
Because Quentin said so.
Just tell me all about his political experience. And
Well, he was Mayor Lance's chief of staff, if you recall.
so he
At
was
one
he
time.
was a secretary.
Yeah. I am not defending it. I am just telling you. I feel the same.
He was the assistant to the regional manager. That's a
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's a fair
yeah,
criticism.
I mean, because we know he's not going to have any opposition. Because the last 6 people who all ran for that office are all dead now. So, um, I'm not joking. They are all dead. They are all dead. Each and every one of them was murdered in cold blood. Um,
That is a job nobody wants.
so maybe that's it. Maybe that's why. Like, all right, let's get and
His qualification is too dumb to say no.
yeah. And we find out evidently he's still mayor 20 years later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Mia. Mia, were you glad she came forward?
Yes, the most emotional part of this episode, other than the last 2 or 3 minutes, was Felicity finding out Mia met Oliver. That really got me. Ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah. So do you think she's gonna find her brother in the future? Do you think we're ever gonna find out?
I do think we're gonna get a whole TV show about it.
Oh, you think this is happening?
Well, I actually am not sure. I feel like if it was gonna happen, they would have told us by now.
I feel like
They
maybe
haven't.
I think maybe they're gonna wait for that a little closer to upfronts, but who knows? But yeah, and I'm just going through here and Diggle.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank him for his service on the salmon letter.
Yes.
And for his service crying. That was some good tears.
Your arms are tree trunks, bro. Yeah. I thought that was a fine eulogy.
Yes.
And yeah, we do see a meteorite crash next to him, and there was a little box, and he opened it up, and there was a flash of green light. Now this is a point of contention. Sarah, will we ever see John Diggle again?
No.
No.
They like to play with that implication, and that is as far as it's going to go. It ends with this show. What do you think?
Okay. I mean, you don't think we're gonna get to see a Green Lantern pop up on Legends or Flash maybe like a year or two down the line?
Maybe, but I feel like that's a property that has a lot of other legal entanglements.
Well,
So,
just the fact that they're doing an HBO Max show. You're probably right. We
but
probably.
that's not saying I don't want it to happen.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we probably won't see hide nor hair of him until after that show's either gone through its development or premiered. They'll probably want to get that figured out first, and then maybe we have Diggle pop up someplace else. But yeah, it was a nice moment. That was exactly what I expected. Some kind of um, really like 3-second hint at what's going on. Instead here it was a 10-second hint, but it just a flash of green light. That's all we needed.
Yeah, it was fun.
And yeah. So Arrow, I mean, just as a whole, I'm gonna miss this show. It kicked off the Arrowverse. I think, I think it was very important. I think it got eight good seasons, and 6 of them were great.
And I will say that ending, because I am a sentimental goober, I had gone back and rewatched the scene where Felicity is in the office and looks at Oliver's picture and says, "You're cute, too bad you're dead." And so when she gets to that paradise dimension and she's in the office and she sees the picture, I actually said out loud to Jason, "Oh, you're cute, too bad you're dead." And then Oliver actually referenced it was lovely. I mean, that was the fact that it ended on such strong Felicity fan service was amazing. The red pen, all of it, lovely. So let's assume they're going to be real happy in that office building, or they can good place it. Yeah, I just finished the Good Place, and be other places too, and be with other people. Maybe I don't know. I want them to be happy. I want them to be happy. They're my beautiful babies. So in my mind, they're eternally young and perfect in paradise. So let's go with that.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and as I've said, most superhero shows before Arrow did not get this luxury to go this long and to have a proper ending. And I think we should be thankful for that. Uh, for all those shows from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s that just kind of like died on the vine a season or two in. That's what made me emotional about this. And yeah, Arrow, you will be sorely missed. And but the legacy can, I mean, 5 other shows on the same network. And we've got more coming down the pike. So, yeah, thank you, Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim, and thank you, Arrow. You will be missed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the good years.
Yeah, yeah. Any news specific to Arrow that we want to talk about?
Just that they actually did have to be careful with how much Lantern stuff they showed because of the HBO Max show that's in development, so they couldn't do much more than that. So,
Okay,
kind of what we thought.
okay, all right. And let's talk about news for the show.
Okay, this is gonna be fast. I'm warning you. So, news for the Flash on February 18th. The episode will be called "A Girl Named Sue." And Ed, do you know what's happening?
We're gonna meet Sue.
We're gonna get our Sue Dibney on.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm so excited.
I'm actually a little worried that. I mean, what if she doesn't? It's gonna be great, right? It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
And it's coming sooner rather than later. So yay. Next show, Doom Patrol. We haven't had news for Doom Patrol in a minute. So there was a report in a website called Full Circle Cinema that an actor named Roger Floyd has been cast as Red Jack. Full Circle Cinema is not usually something I use as a source for my news, but on Twitter, the actor Roger Floyd responded and said, "Hey, thanks for the mention." So to me, that was him saying, "This is a true thing." So I don't know much about Roger Floyd, the actor. I am curious, Ed, what you know about Red Jack, the character.
Not that much. He's from the Grant Morrison run. And he's a bad guy who has kind of like a playing card theme going on. But it's Doom Patrol, so it's gonna get really weird.
In Doom Patrol, I trust, as always. So that sounds good. Last show we're going to talk about for news is Lucifer. And that is that this past week was the shooting of their final episode. Yep. According to Joe Henderson on Twitter, they were in production, or they were shooting that last bit of footage this past week. They're going to end it in style, as we would expect. So, thank you, Lucifer, for that, and I hope the concluding work is good. Also on Twitter this week, everything is Twitter this week. Someone had tweeted a question at Neil Gaiman saying, "Hey, are you and Sandman the reason that Lucifer is ending? Was there some kind of agreement that Lucifer had to end so we could have Sandman?" And Neil Gaiman responded personally and said, "Nope, that is not the case. It was ending before we struck any deals for Sandman. So everybody back off Neil Gaiman, okay?"
What the hell, man? Come on. Why that premise makes no sense. And I'm glad.
I know. I almost didn't even mention it because it was so dumb. But in case anybody felt like blaming Neil Gaiman, don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm glad that he put the kibosh on that.
Yes.
All right. So that's the news, and I guess now it's time for our winners of the week.
I think we're gonna have some similar winners here this week.
Okay. Would you what did you go with a theme, or did you pick one specific?
I went very straightforward with a person, and that person, well, people, and that's Felicity.
Mhm.
They fought through things, and Oliver leaves behind a legacy, and Felicity helped build that. And now they're together, and they're happy. And who could have thought, genuinely, who could have thought when this show started that is how, and who would end up at the end in that final shot? Just lovely. So that's mine. Winner of the week.
My winner of the week is surprise returns. So on Batwoman, we had Beth return, who we thought was dead, or we thought was Alice, and we found out there's another version of Beth, and that's closer to the sister that Kate lost. Supergirl, we had Win come back from the future. We found out, oh, he has a family, he's all set up, and it was great. It was great to see him check back in. On Black Lightning, we found out Lady Eve is alive now. That's a surprise return. And Arrow, we had a bunch of people come back. I would say Felicity, but we knew that we knew long ago that she was going to be in this final episode. To me, the big surprise return was Rory as Ragman. Um, that was the one. Like, if you pegged me down, like the one that was the one character I thought like probably should be in this episode, but they wouldn't think to ask the actor back, and they did, and that was cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good
All right.
choices.
Winners of the week. We did an episode, Sarah.
Did an episode.
All right. Happy Super Bowl weekend, everybody. Go enjoy. I won't make a pick. Sarah, do you want to make a pick? Chiefs or Niners?
Well, I mean, no, I don't know. What are you asking me for? I know that the Chiefs are Midwestern, so I feel geographically closer to them. Although around here it's Bears, Pack, Vikes, Colts. So I don't know.
Well, let's try by the quarterback, Sarah. Would you be more excited to watch to see a win from Patrick Mahomes or Jimmy Garoppolo?
You're making up words. You're making up words that don't mean anything. Those are not real.
All right, I guess that's the best we'll get. Happy
Bortles.
Bortles, Blake Bortles, get out of here. All right, happy Super Bowl weekend, everybody. Oscars next weekend. We'll I guess
I'll have more opinions for that.
Yeah, we'll approach it then. And that's the DCTV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Little Eddie O'Hare.
I'm at Sara Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Reports. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister show, the Wicked Theory Podcast. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam!